Should get going in about 5 minutes. Get going in about 5 minutes. Good morning, good morning. Hello, good morning. Give a few minutes for people to get in here. Welcome, welcome to the stream. We're going to be doing live analysis on the forex and the cryptos, or whatever you want to look at, but mostly the forex. Good morning, good morning. I'm going to let people know in the Discord that we got started here. Get started in a few minutes. Anyone here yet? Good morning. I don't want to mispronounce your name. Eagle guy. Is that an eagle? I like your eagle. Gennaro. Gennaro. One of those is probably right. KTG. That's what I call you. Peace. Yeah, peace would be a good thing. Hopefully. One day. Peace to the world. Peace. The first one. Oh, I forgot which one I said first. When I'll watch later. KTG. Yep. Starting in a minute. We have news today. I didn't even look yet. I took one trade today. Let me see. Good morning, good morning. We're going to look at live charts. We're going to analyze. We're going to talk about what the heck's going on. Maybe it'll help you. Or maybe you know what you're doing and you're just hanging out. Good morning, good morning. Thanks for coming. Or afternoon or evening or whatever it may be. EU made a quick move and seems strong. I took an EJ trade. I guess the euro. FOMC meeting at 2. Crude oil 10. All right, let me see. Checking news. Yeah. So that's 5.5 hours from now is the high impact news US FOMC meeting minutes. So that typically brings some late day volatility. It's already been a little more active later in the day than it at times in the past. So we're just going to be moving right along throughout the day probably. But keep that in mind if you're in a trade or whatever, that late day high impact stuff. That's really it for high impact, but we just had CPI Canada high impact 3 minutes ago. And we had, along with that, a couple of things for the U.S. light impact, building permits, housing starts, which is listed as light impact. Typically, those things are important, but, you know, sometimes some numbers are more accurate than others or whatever the reasoning is. I don't care. So we're past the high impact news until later on today. We don't have to worry about that. It's mortgage delinquencies in an hour and a half for U.S. That also sounds really important. Listed as light impact. I thought during these trying times, and we're all in this together, that you couldn't really get in much trouble for not paying your mortgage. I don't know if that's true. I luckily don't have one. Crude oil inventories. Oh, that's also in. That's in a couple hours, in 2 hours. It's listed as medium impact. That's going to have an effect. Okay. Got to remember those times. But the big stuff is later. All right, so where are we at with things? Gennaro, you're our news correspondent. Thank you. You'll have to report when it comes out. It's your job now. One trade I took today, I think I'm still in it, unless my break even got hit on my last piece, was a Euro Yen EJ long. I'll tell you exactly where I got in. It wasn't the smoothest experience at first, but we ended up working out. But that was my entry there. My stop was below this low. Thank God. I was thinking, 38 or whatever it was. Not below this low, because it was a scalp entry. It was a small stop. So luckily I didn't get hit. And I took off 2/3 of that position, and my stop was at break even. So I'm just kind of letting it run with the third that I have left on there. So that's all I did today as far as a trade. Not a bad week so far. Where am I? Okay, it's Wednesday morning. I already have a few trades. It was Monday, euro dollar short. Nothing big as far as pip count, but scalp entries with pretty small stops, so position wise on the larger side. But it was euro dollar short. Then I had the pound dollar break even. I took an AJ short yesterday. I took a euro dollar long yesterday. That was my one loss this week so far. So I had one loss, one break even. And the win on the euro dollar short Monday, the AJ short yesterday, and then the EJ long today are the 3 wins. So 3 wins, 1 loss, 1 break even. That's where I am this week. The euro dollar short and the pound dollar break even was both Monday during the session, right? Yeah. The AJ yesterday was right after the session. After the live stream ended, I got an AJ short. And of course, we were bearish on everything yesterday, and that played out. Maybe you took advantage of that in some way, however you enter trades. Various peoples out there. But let's see where we are with things now. So, as I said yesterday, especially once we saw the high impact news and got the result, it got past this level, for example, on the euro dollar, but it was generally US dollar strength yesterday off of the news, which drove down the dollar pairs. As I said, there's no reason to be buying the dollar pairs yesterday, right? So that's absolutely, it was just a question of where, when, if, or how aggressive you wanted to get short, right? Which I didn't take a euro dollar short yesterday. But the dollar pairs all did that as expected. The one surprising thing was, which is why I didn't get in a dollar pair short yesterday, was how fast it went without much of a really even small retracements going on. It was really, really extreme quick drop, which is not the usual to that extreme. So it was hard to get entries on that. So on the dollar pair drop yesterday, I didn't get an entry. But luckily I did on the AJ, which did do more of a wavy sort of thing, and I was able to get the pullback and the continuation just after the session there. We could look at it. And again, that was very, very bearish too. We knew this, and this is how we ended yesterday. So at least I'm giving good advice. We'll see where we are today. We knew all of this was bearish. Dollar pairs and yen pairs were bearish. And again, it was just really a matter of how, where, when to get in. And, not everybody trades the same. I didn't get the dollar pair short, but I got a yen short. Good morning. Yeah, not bad. Not mad. Well, that's what patience gets you. I was impatient and I took all the trades that I talk about taking. It wouldn't be that. But in the end, it's not that few. You wait, but you look back and go, I got a decent amount of trades. It's only Wednesday morning. I ended up taking the pound yen long with good advice from you, being patient. Pound yen long. Okay, cool. Take a look at that. Anthony, how are you? Cool. People are back. So you took a pound yen long. I'm curious about that before we do our analysis here. I'm tired today. It's catching up with me. I'm trying to get my sleep schedule together. Half the time I complain that I'm tired. Right? Pete's tired. He did get a bounce. I wonder where you went in. We'll take a quick look. You could tell me if you want. But yesterday I'm just trying to find where we were. We were here. Yeah. Right. Something like that. Okay, then maybe kind of off hour. Well, Asia session is not off hours. The yen. And maybe you saw the demand here. These are 3 spots showing demand coming in here. And maybe that's what made you finally go long earlier today. And again here. So yeah, the accumulation, right, to go counter trend in some way. This close to the bottom where it's really, really still just a downtrend. To see this strength is certainly going to help. And maybe that's what it was, right? Mr. KTG. And from a 1 hour point of view, though, I wouldn't say we've seen anything high, did we, as far as volume? But why is that so? Oh, that's because that's in the background. Okay, we've actually been building up here this week. And that was the highest volume of the week so far in this area. All right, well, let me go through in my normal order and do our analysis here, see where we are. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. 1 second here, we'll do our analysis. People are still coming in. Welcome, welcome. If you're new here, we're doing live analysis. Maybe it'll help your trading. I'm not a genius. I've just been looking at charts for over a decade. Okay. That's what it says on my business card. Oh, okay. You stepped away, sir. Entry was 156.2 is KTG's. I'm just curious about that. 150.62. Was that today? Into today's session, Asia, after that strength? Oh, that's a nice low price. Good stuff. I'm going to guess, I'll take a wild guess at where you got in. 62, you got in here. I don't know. Or here. One of those. Or here. It all helps. Very good. Cool. All right, KTG, you give me the time eventually. Let's get started. I'm like obsessed with your entry. Where is it? I'm curious. All right. So back to the top. All right. So yesterday ended bearish. No reason to be buying anything. Talking about sell entries. All right. Dollar pairs. Yeah, pairs. We had strong US dollar and strong yen. So therefore everything moving down against it. Now as far as how that ended off, starting with the dollar pairs, we ended off the day pretty low. Price-wise, not much of a bounce, not much of a rejection. No real clear, classic sign of strength stuff going on as far as high volume rejection off the lows. This did happen today. And that's particular to the Australian dollar. So it's not really a US dollar driven situation. Oh, the New Zealand US also did that. Interesting. Euro dollar and pound dollar didn't have that big spike. All right. So, putting that aside, the ones that didn't see that spike, they're going to tend to correlate still and be driven by the US dollar. But ending where you really would want to stay bearish in the overall outlook. It doesn't mean I can't take a counter trend trade, but to know that would be counter trend. And there's no reason to be buying still. Simply just from the overview, it's not a complicated thing. High volume leading to lower prices, leading to lower prices, leading to lower prices, and the day ends on the low. There's a lot of selling in the background, and it hasn't hit buying, profit-taking, demand, bouncing off high volume, right, would show that. So in this situation, overall, as far as plotting out what may happen today, again, I kind of have two methods where I have this overall plotting out of things that I'm looking for based on these analysis, and then there are scalp entries, which are more flexible, can be counter background and all that. But as far as the overview and getting your bearings, right, do that first. So there's a fib area here. It's really high up, but of course we may make it there. But just to be thorough and draw the areas that I would be looking for this to do, a third leg down kind of situation. What's back there? I don't even know. I don't even care. So there's that. Now also, I would say for sure, and we'll get in there and look, that if we get here, we're going to certainly get a read on selling today before we even get here. And if we don't even get here, that's fine, because this is important to test if we see this today, testing that level and especially slightly above is really going to reveal how active these sellers are still positioning short into up moves in this bearish environment or not, or what may happen there, right? And, you know, again, if you like, especially this new high ground over this, or even just the double top test of that level, and seeing weakness come in or not, right? Weakness on high volume says, oh, okay, we're likely continuing down. That could be a decent entry back down to support as a first target, and then maybe further targets. If you're really not seeing that selling, that's telling you we may be going up to the fib area. Look for that leg down maybe from there, which of course happens a lot off of this area. But the fake breakouts and the fibs and the sign of weakness in this environment, right, simply put, could give opportunity there. Okay. So that's going to be kind of the basic idea for the dollar pairs bearish environment that we're in. The traditional sort of day trade, scalp entries aside, are all going to be similar, that sort of thing. Where if I'm confident I'm looking for another leg down, right, a larger sort of move, that I would have to move up and see weakness down here, right, on the AU here, I would not be selling into support. Of course, this is never a spot I would sell. As far as this sort of trade, a scalp could be flexible, but still, this is not ideal. Let's see how close we are, really. Yeah, I mean, that's actually confirming that it's likely to go to support here, but selling right into the low, no, not something I want to do. Am I still in this EJ? Yeah, I am. Okay. Well, as we speak, that may be coming right down to support. So this did happen, which is a sign of strength on very large volume, and it's a fake breakout pattern from the low of the previous day there. So some of that, it's not as bearish as it was before that, right? We'll say that. It's not high volume from a 1 hour point of view. It's not going to make me say I want to start buying, definitely, right? But this bearish environment, this downtrend, because of this rejection, right? Price went down. Of course, the fake break pattern. You know what happens here, right, guys? On these kind of things. First of all, you have people, just to really explain why this stuff happens. What is that, right? That's a little extreme, but I will guarantee you that a couple of things went on. First of all, those that went long through here have stop losses below there, right? That's number one. And that creates a sell-off. You have breakout traders that went short here, right? And then you have another thing that happened, which was all this selling, right? Why did it close up and have this result? Because demand came in, which is in a bearish environment, likely some profit taking. There could be some accumulation starting, but likely some profit taking went on these short positions here that have been throughout this downtrend. When you're short, right, it's a buy to close it, right? Buy from who? Those are selling a breakout. Right? So just to get into a little bit why these things happen. Okay. So it's not as bearish as it was, we've got to say, right? And something like that could be hinting that if we come down here again we see large demand, and maybe a double bottom, another bottom here, and get an up move off of that. So that's the question right here, right? That's the question in this downtrend bearish environment that's seen some demand. It actually is high volume on a 1 hour. I didn't realize. Okay. Well, we're down here, and if this is a one-time thing, that means we'll not see the buyers and maybe continue through. If we get that type of rejection, it doesn't have to be so extreme like that. But if, again, we see strength and accumulation here, right, then we would expect the retracements coming and a possible nice low long entry off of another sign of strength, or there are options on how to get in if we see that. So at least we're down here and we'll see. That's all we can do with that spot right now. And again, this is similar to euro dollar. But in this case, we talked about fake break, fib. In this case, we're already into some new high ground just recently again. So like I said, on the euro dollar, new high ground is going to tell you about weakness, sellers, and we just hit some here, new high ground for the day. And not much activity. Not much activity, right? And there's some strength. We saw some pound strength earlier today. So it's looking like these downtrends may be due for a retracement, right? Again, aggressive selling could have come in here in a downtrend. This is a spot that tells you about sell activity. And it was not very active volume-wise. So we'll take it as it comes. If it gets high enough and we get weakness and all that, I'm still okay with selling. I'm not convinced to start buying. I'm not convinced to do that. But that's a rare thing where you have the Australian dollar reaction so different down here. And there it is again there. So that's the dollar pair situation. Again, euro, I'd be looking to short on weakness. We've seen some demand popping up here and there. Not enough reason for me to want to be buying and really betting on the retracement up move right now yet. That could change if we see more buying down at these low prices, along with, lack of selling at higher prices, however it may develop. And again here, could have gotten really squashed in some weakness, right? Suggesting we're continuing the trend. Didn't happen. So we may have to go higher to find some sellers to continue the downtrend. Or we may not be seeing sellers, or we may be seeing some demand popping up. So we have to kind of take it as it comes. But that's the situation. Would not be surprised if we trend up today as a retracement of this move now. What's up? What's up? Good morning. Good morning. Mr. Bill. Cool. Next time. Wow, it looks like I picked the right one. Pound yen as well. I'm still holding a third of my EJ position. Let's go. Did I just do that? Oh, okay. I should be over here. I drew that on the wrong stuff, didn't I? That's all right. Different broker. So again, my entry was here. I closed 2/3 of the trade, stopping to break even, letting it run. This is crucial to see what's going to go on in this zone as far as selling. One thing I can do is trail my stop. Start to do that a couple of pips below the 14 EMA current price. So I can move my stop up to 63 right now. Or just like a 10 pip trail. Whatever it is. Okay. If this goes to 618, I'm just going to end the live stream and go to bed. No. My work is done. That's how it is some days, right? You get an early trade, and other days you're sitting there all day, you get nothing. Wondering if I use the RR tool to show my positions. RR? Risk reward? To show my positions? What tool is that? What do you think of the trade for proprietary? I don't know if you know that by name. What's that? Not sure what that is. On TradingView. Oh, there's an RR tool on TradingView. Oh, okay. No. And is that to, what does that do? I don't believe so. I know I'm not taking advantage of a lot of the features on here. I'm just simple. That's how I do it. I want my fib zones and my support resistance. My stuff. My guess would be no, I don't use that. What is that for? Short and long tool. I don't know what that is. But I'm not trading through here. I don't know if you mean that. No. I actually trade on my phone just to keep it in one place and then simple. Okay. So our condition for today is we knew we were bearish going into to end yesterday. Going into today, we're seeing a bit of demand popping up at low prices earlier in the day on the pound, on the Australian dollar. Seeing that demand come in, and I'm on a 1 minute chart. And possibly going higher. Not where I want to be just buying and putting a stop down here, but we could see further accumulation signs, and that would convince me to do that. I think another like test of this level where you fake break again with the strength, followed by lack of supply on a test, that might get me in. Really good risk reward, obviously. It would be nice to see this kind of strength show up everywhere, right? We don't see it here. Rejection off lows on high volume. So obviously for going along. Besides a scalp, that would be correct. I mean, VSA wise, however you want to. It's a basic thing, whatever you want to call it. But going counter trend without, buying in a downtrend without high volume demand is not really right. Not something I would want to do. Trends can go as long as they want to go. What else? The chat. Oh, it shows the trades and show the progress of your trades. Okay. I've never seen that. But I'm trading with forex.com on my phone. But I'm not really here to show my trades. If I take a trade during the session, I'll most likely let you know. Companies such as FTMO earn to trade among other companies. Sponsored traders. Okay. Probably not. Eurodollar is an interesting accumulation structure, in my opinion, for our chart. Let's see that. Well, the 4 hour is just a smushed together version of the 1 hour, but maybe something becomes more obvious there. It's not convincing me to buy. To me, that's just actually less information. Just me. I don't know. Now I can zoom in and see really what happened here, which was after this got slammed down. Hey, look, it's a great discount if you want to buy cheap, and no one really did that. So losing that information and backing out doesn't, to me personally, the most activity that happened recently is the ridiculous sell-off here. And those positions are still in the market that says volume. Otherwise, we would see high volume activity of exiting these trades. And those shorts go all the way back through here and all that. So not a situation where I'd want to buy, simply put, because of that. It's the way I do it, which I think is logical. And it doesn't have to be high volume into low price, our sort of classic sign of strength. But we need some high activity, at least something that leads to higher prices as a result, or something that tells me that they've gotten out of these short positions and not just holding them confidently like looks like they're doing at the moment, to some extent. A bit of demand, but not much. This is where I want to be, right? Yeah, okay. EJ? EJ's nice to me today. At the highest volume in a while there. Yeah, sort of. So if this becomes a fake break and rejects the fib area here, it gets back below this high, it may be coming down. I could lock in, bring my stop up. But is that break even for the moment? Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome. Third day in a row today. I'm trying to get my schedule right. I'm tired, but I'm here. I'm glad I showed up because I got a good trade. So again, we've been very bearish. We know this. But at this point, especially the ones that are close to the low, which is this one here, close to the low and seeing some strength, I would not want to be shorting. And really, if you look at the day so far, euro dollar, it's just really gone nowhere since Asia. Went up a little bit, failed, down a little bit, failed, back to where we started. But that's the way it's been, right? It's the U.S. session that gives us these trending moves now. Was not always this way. It may not always be that way in the future, but that's what it is now. That's why I'm here at this time. But yeah, let's get out of this area, right? If we go down, right, we've been here all day. Been here since yesterday ended, this price area. So there's nothing exciting going on. If we move down, we'll see what's going on. Is it strength coming in? We expect a reversal. Is it a real breakout? I would continue to short, not chase a breakout, but look for my short entries, or if we're into new low ground properly. Move up, find the weakness to short. If we don't see the weakness, it's not showing up, along with demand starting to really show up on high volume, then I would be looking to buy in that case. But we got to get out of this little range here. Looks like really just a bit of profit taking. But again, certainly some strength, right? Shown by the higher volume at the low prices and the result. If this starts trending up a little better, right, then I would look for a long entry. But this is really just kind of flat. Tried to break out, failed. I should probably be on this one. Yeah. Tried to break out. And the structure is, higher highs, higher low structure is really barely there. This was obviously not. So failing the breakout. Not a great trending environment. I wouldn't go long right now in this situation. All right. Hang out a bit. On some music, roll a doobie. I gotta be careful what I play. This is all stuff I recorded. I have a recording studio. Plays in mono. I gotta fix that. But I've noticed now I'm getting copyright strikes, so I guess these people that I recorded, probably should have asked them first. Can I use this? But yeah, I can't even put on like music for myself. The mic will pick it up, and and it'll get banned in some countries. I don't care about the monetization or anything. It's the fact that if I play any music, it could be banned in your country. It could be banned. The video blocked. I'm sitting here musicless. All right, so hopefully this is helpful. It's not as bearish as it was yesterday. Things change. But I'm not convinced to be buying. And let's get out of this tight range and get some more information anyway, right? Plenty of time. And I already got a runner with the EJ long, so all good, no pressure. I see the Discord is getting active, which is cool. I think there's new people in there, and I guess what it's good for is because I didn't make it, and I figured, okay, a couple of people told me to do a Discord, so they made it, and I don't know what to do with it. I'd rather do the live streams. So, but it's cool that I think we have just like-minded traders here, that we're not trading off news or we're not trading off indicators. You know, we're trying to understand what's really going on in the market, which is, you know, the Wyckoff VSA stuff. Basic technical analysis, nothing wacky. So I think everyone has that in common. And I saw a bit of the discussion about, you know, different schools of different approaches to using volume. And so whatever, the discussion can go on. That's good. That's cool. I guess it's like-minded people, you know, different levels of experience. So that could be good. Unconfirmed test on euro dollar. Let's see, euro dollar. Yeah, there's nothing I want to do while it's in this area. That's one thing for sure that I know. I've been here since that long ago. Wow. 11 a.m. yesterday. 20 hours. 20-hour range right here. Really? Yeah. So, to me, this is all like waiting for the bus. Can't remember the last time I took a bus, but that's my, yeah. I think at this point I'll just leave my stop and break even on this thing, and it'll do what it's going to do, whatever. I only have a third of my original position on. So the most recent development is there is a bit of weakness on the yen pairs. EJ hit the fib area, fake break pattern. That might come back and get me out of my last portion of the trade there. but a bit of weakness there. Not huge volume, but it's certainly there. I got to remember to make things bigger. People could be watching on small screens, right? So the volume's fairly high there into this area and creating this fake breakout pattern, and of course the fib zone, which really tells us about sellers. If sellers are interested, we're going to find out starting in this area. So we do have that. Not where I would want to go short off of that or anything, but that seems to be the case there. Again, pretty high volume, highest volume many hours since the London Open spike here, right, into this rejected area. And here's the result, lower, lower, lower. So the selling is hitting to some extent now on the dollar pairs. The pound is a bit on the stronger side, which Mr. KTG was looking at and did get a pound long. Ended up with the EJ though. But a bit of supply showing up. Less on the pound, so that still backs up. It's a bit stronger. Seeing less weakness into new high ground. And that's actually a successful breakout over the previous high here. Make it back to test and continue. But so far it's staying above it, and as far as the breakout, above that level. Compared to EJ, which failed and showed weakness on that. So that is more likely to happen. Of course, when we saw this candle, this reaction, likely to fail the breakout attempt. This is just a good old double top rejection there. Actually, it's a fake breakout, technically. But a little higher if you could even see that pin. But anyway, same point. There is that weakness showing up there in the yen pairs. And it could continue the downtrend off of that. If so, it could be a short entry. But again, with some of these, as we get close to these lows where we did see some demand, selling late in the trend into the low is not exactly what I'm looking for. We will see what develops. All right. We did our analysis, just being patient. I got a trade running with no risk, which is nice. Looking for some sort of movement out of this range on the euro dollar before I do anything. It's been stuck in since late yesterday. Bearish environment, coming off of downtrends generally, but seeing a bit of strength and a bit of retracement stuff going on. So I don't want to be aggressively selling down here. Maybe we get some weakness into up move. Look to sell again with these trends. kind of did my analysis all over the place, didn't I? 2 different brokers. Again, here we saw some demand showing up. We may see large demand again. So I'm not selling low into these, the ones that are low. As far as the retracement, I'd like to see some more weakness and some, before shorting, getting with the trend. Haven't really seen that. We looked at for example, this retracement, 5-minute. Where we could have been seeing weakness into new high ground here. And rejection of prices, not at all. So that suggests we may be able to go higher. If we were trending better, I would consider a long entry here as far as a scalp counter trend thing. I do already have a long, which is not correlating with it at the moment. But this is likely to continue up. Again, if I don't chase breakouts, this is into the new high of the day so far of the session. So I wouldn't be buying there. Not my style. I don't chase. But if I do a counter trend, sort of scalp entry here, I would want to see these higher prices and then come, lack of weakness and then come down for another move up. It could be a break test continuation of this high and certain things can happen to get in. But just a candle closing up here, I'm not going to go chase that into the high of the session like that. Much easier to get back to a high that's been made than to have your trade really run into new high ground. It could be supply coming in. You don't know what's up there, right? But if you get to see it, and you see not much supply, not much selling activity, then you know what you're buying into, right? And if it just gets to the high, that could be a first target on a scalp or your target. So that is the way I will deal with that. And if we come up and do see a lot of weakness, then I can look to short, right? Nothing too complicated there. Okay. So that's as far as the dollar pairs that may be having their retracement go on here. And again, the ones that are near the low, nothing to do there at the moment. Selling that low and late in a downtrend certainly wouldn't do that. That's from yesterday. I'm switching between brokers, so now I have my analysis all over the place. All right, we'll live with it for today. Welcome, welcome. Back to the chats. What's with the MACD? I was waiting for somebody to say that. I don't know. I don't even look at it. I trade exactly the same way I've been trading for years and years and years. It tends to sometimes get locked in as far as, it's like something you play with, but then when it comes to time to make a decision, I'm not listening to this thing. I could just delete it right now. Sometimes it does kind of help. You know what it is? I want to see what everybody else is looking at so I can take their money. That's what it is with the MACD. Gosh. Greetings. Adele, the pianist. I'm a Cuban pianist living in Jordan. You get around. I recently started the forex trading world. Your videos have been a great help. Cool. You're very welcome. Thank you very much. Glad to help. Hello from New York. We're global. Isn't it crazy? Cool. Glad to help. I just keep switching back to the EJ because I have a last remaining third of my long position in there. And, the 14 EMA rejection. could give me a little, another leg up. Do have to deal with some weakness in the fib area, so that takes away some probability of continuing, but I'll let it run for the moment. One loss, one break even, and 3 wins. And it's only Wednesday. Good to be back. I still got it. All right, we'll see how things develop. Good to hear from you guys in the chat. Some new people. Boss man, greetings. Following your channel for a short while, and I'm wondering how the 50 to 618 fib level came to be important in your method instead of other fib levels. Yep. Well, I have, like I always say about anything that I do, it really just came from trial and error and observation and screen time and many years. When I was experimenting with the fib, back in 2006 or something, I really noticed a certain behavior between the 50 and the 618 level that was more telling and important and gave me some good information compared to the other levels, which didn't seem relevant. I just could never find that they mattered. I even at one point went back and put them back on just to see, after a long time. And I'm like, nope, at least for me, I just don't see any purpose in those levels. If you take we'll go to a 1 hour chart. So for example, that's a good question. I like to draw the fib over the trending move itself. So that would be, for example, here right now. So this stuff the fib levels that I don't have here before the 50, basically get covered by the moving averages. This 14 EMA is always going to be before the 50, and typically the 50 EMA too. So as far as test areas, which in this case, if we're bearish and we're moving up, this tells us about sellers. This tells me about sellers. And this as a zone tells me about sellers. So higher prices always tell you about sellers. And I may attract sellers, may attract supply. That's where it is. So then I noticed not only did the fib levels didn't do me any good besides these, the moving averages do the job in this space before you get there. And then seeing that the 50 to 618 are actually in between, you know, so I started calling it a zone, maybe in like 2010 or something, where the activity that goes on in between, so it becomes all of it, up to an overshoot. So to really cover it, overshoot of 618, which may be a 70 or something, you know. I don't know if it's an exact thing that it could really do, but just beyond that 618, so you could kind of summarize it like that. And this becomes an area that, so for example, if I'm looking to go short, which I am, if we get up there, if it behaves right. So let's say we get up here today, tomorrow, whatever. As soon as we touch this 50, and you'll see this if you go through historically, you're going to get a reaction. You're going to get a read on selling. If it's high volume rejection, right, that's a really good piece of information. But if it gets into the zone, which of course very often it does, you could see weakness and a building up of short positions or distribution type of activity, if you know what that is, right? But a building up of short positions all through this zone up to a pop through 618. It's very dependable. Because if you start moving up and you don't see that weakness through there, then that suggests you're going to the high, that it's a reversal rather than a retracement. That's how important that is. Especially like you get through here and you're just accepting this price and you're not seeing weakness coming in. Certainly pointing to that. This was euro dollar in reverse yesterday we were talking about with that. And we got, just picture this upside down, and we got to this point and we said, okay, well that's that. We know we're targeting this now, and that's where the day ended, right? Well, this is euro dollar, so that was here, and that broke a 618, drawn from this low to this high. Here was the zone, and after we got past it, we said, yep, we're going back to this, and that's exactly where we did. So applying that to today, right? That's how important that is. So all that activity that goes in there, that goes on in there, right? And it's just really basic VSA weakness type of stuff. You know, seeing if it happens or not. And then this also just fits in with like a 5-wave pattern or, you know, simple Elliott wave stuff. And the way, you know, an Elliott wave, 5-wave trend pattern has its retracements. If you draw if you know what I'm talking about, right? Simple 5-wave pattern or whatever. If you draw that out, you're drawing basically 50% retracements, 50 to 618. It's already kind of built into the Wyckoff stuff and the Elliott wave stuff. And then the VSA stuff, you put it all together, and then you see weakness here or not, right? You see how helpful that can be. How long have you been trading, Mr. Boss Man? I mean, if it's like 3 months or, you know, 3 years, or that's a big difference. So if you've been trading a few years, then I'm sure you know what I mean as far as like a basic wave pattern and where that 50 to 618 kind of fits in. Fib facts. Gathering intelligence. So cool. I don't mind explaining that. Questions are good. Oh, this is probably going to kick me out of the last third of my position on this. Or not. Find out. My entry was like 58. No, it wasn't. It was here. Okay, good. Now let me look. It's on my phone. But yeah, I remember thinking back then, like, do I really have the balls to change the Fibonacci? Who do I think I am? I'm going to call it a zone, 50 to 618. I'm going to take off the other levels. Fib zone, I'm going to call it. Ugh. Really? I'm going to do this? Yes. Come on, look at the chart. All right. I'm doing it. I'm changing the Fib. And I never went back. Again, I went back and checked. I'm like, nope, I'm going to keep it this way. I have no open positions. So how did that happen? Let me look at my history. Did I close the entire trade by accident? What did I do? No. I may have locked in some. I don't know. I kind of need some sleep. All right. Well, I'm out of that trade. Nice, profitable trade. EJ Long. My entry was 12852.7 at 5:48 a.m. Eastern Time. Which is, if you know my scalp method, pretty good trade. Trade entry. Pretty good quality. Must have been good enough. So where are we now? Getting some movement. Euro-dollar, again, just to review. Very bearish, but we're stuck in this range. As long as we're in this range, I'm not doing anything. If we can't get out of the range, not only I say the Asia pre-London range, which we're still in, but we're still in, yesterday's, the last many hours of yesterday's session's price area. So it's a non-event right now. Go with the wind. We need some new information. Pound, like I said, was a really bad long entry because of the reasons I said, and it's not moving anywhere anyway. It's just sitting here. Very choppy sideways now. So that's an hour and a half. Here's 8 New York time, and then now it's 9:40, 9:35. All stuck here, so not missing anything. Again, very bearish on this one, but we saw some demand to the left. We may be getting some. That's not even off the low price. What is that, news 5 minutes ago? Let me check that. Where's my shortcut? Some light news? No, not even. Okay. In 24 minutes, there's light impact, as is listed on Forex Factory, light impact news. Mortgage delinquencies. You had delinquency, you didn't pay your mortgage. And then we have crude oil inventories in an hour. And then the late day FOMC stuff, which by then I don't even want to be in a trade and I don't want to know about it. I'll look at it tomorrow. The 2 p.m. FOMC high impact. I will not be on the charts. All right, so at least we got a little increase in activity. See where that leads. See the result. I guess right now the pound yen is the most exciting. The yen pairs are a little more exciting. At least this played out. Not a bad day here as far as the up move and being able to catch something on that from that entry. Really that and the pound that moved. Not much else. Well, let's see the result of this high volume. Maybe we're kicking into gear here. Oh, we had the opening bell 7 minutes ago. That's what that was. Maybe we're kicking into gear. See the result. Generally speaking, again, we were very bearish going into today. We're a little less bearish on some of the pairs. A little strength on the pound. Here and there stuff. I actually bought EJ. but we really don't have much clarity now. I wouldn't want to go short back into the trend at this point, and I really wouldn't want to buy and expect a higher price. So we sit and wait, at least me. Trade it up if you're confident. Been trading for coming up on a year now with varying success. Okay. Varying success. Okay. Well, usually first year is just lose money, right? That was my first year, guarantee you. 2003. But yeah, a year is, you've probably seen a bit of this and that, but the more experience you get, the better. It's really that kind of thing. It's a new skill. I say it's like playing an instrument, you know. A drummer that's been playing a year is not going to be as good as a drummer that's been playing 10 years. It's just, that's what it is. Experience. Except for me, I'm a really good drummer. I picked it up right away. Thanks for your answer to my question. Very good. Thanks for the question, because when people ask questions, this becomes a more valuable educational live stream. And then we have this material on the channel for people to listen to in the future. Hello, future people. What is it like? Is everything still okay? If you're listening to this in 2024, are we okay? Did we survive as a species? Funny how everybody talks about USD inflation when it's doing the opposite. Isn't that funny? Isn't that weird? There's a disconnect. The thing is, I'm no economist, so I'm about to shit above my ass, as they say. But there's definitely a disconnect between the foreign exchange version of the US dollar in relation to foreign currency and its value, right? The disconnect between that is a good point, and buying powers within America, which is becoming less and less. The buying power of a dollar goes down and down. So what you can get for your money, which is inflation. But compared to other countries, maybe they have the same inflation because policies are so global now. Maybe they're all dealing with inflation and it's kind of all relatively not changing. Yeah, that's beyond my territory, though, talking about this. But U.S. dollar inflation in real life is real. If you live in the U.S., you know how expensive everything is. And you just accept it. You just see the price. And I'm right outside New York City, so you can imagine how expensive things are. Just insane. And you get to the point where you're used to it. Like, yeah, that used to be $12 and now it's $20. Yeah, that's fine. I know. That's what it is now. Like, restaurants' prices have gone up so high that you just expect it at this point. Like, yeah, you're not going to get a burger for under $15 now. Just a simple burger is going to be at least $15. If it's 20, you're like, yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, no, there's definitely inflation in real life. Yeah. And then you have things like, because I'm doing some work in my house, lumber has gone up 300% in the past 6 months or so. What happened 8 months ago? We can't talk about that. Yeah, lumber has gone up 300% or more. So that's a whole cascading effect, right? So like materials to fix up your house are way up to the point where I'm putting things off because the price is just ridiculously high. Things go in cycles, I guess. I'll wait for lumber to come down before I, and but that creates a whole effect. I'm not an economist, but that's obvious. Then you have construction companies getting less work, and the economy is tied to homes very much too. Anyway, as you say, VSA definitely makes most sense. Stuff I've heard traders before. Yes, it's an attempt to make things make sense by talking about facts, not oscillating indicators or some technical, some fundamental outlook or some things that don't matter. The funny thing is, I went to Disney World end of July, all by myself, because no, just kidding, my daughter and my wife, and I expected the prices to be astronomical, and they're like the same as here. Like, oh, we already have high prices where we live. Oh, okay, this is actually the same. All right, we're getting off topic. Talking about the forex. Can we get some action? Euro dollar. I wanted to get out of this range. We're bearish in the background. I'm not selling down here. I'm not doing anything down here. Pound. Enjoying a bit of a retracement, but it's not acting in such a way where I would want to go long at this point. And really, we would spend an hour and a half right now going sideways. Here, really. I mean, does that even count as a change? Barely. There's not much activity here. It's been later in the day. That's fine. That's why I'm showing up later. But we do have really some flat, rangy stuff on there so far. Again, here, very bearish, nice downtrend. We knew this week. Don't buy, don't buy. And then we did see some bit of strength coming in, but we're sitting near the low. So not a place where I would think about going short, really relying on a breakout. Now, again, is this the one I marked up? Yeah, sort of. Update it. We do have the support, which if we're going to get a retracement and get that going, right, because we've really just moved down and we're sitting at the low. If we're going to get some sort of retracement going, a lot of times you're going to get high volume, which we might be getting this now. But I was going to say this, another fake breakout, which at the time really like this was. So you have this low, right? And then you have this high volume fake break, and then we moved up above that. So again, that's just a obvious recent example right there. So then the support. So again, that type of pattern is typical. Think of the spring Wyckoff, right? A couple of these things I just apply, not everything. But that's always a good one with the fake breakouts. I already talked about earlier some of that, what goes on there. So a drop down here and a rejection on high volume, I might want to get long with a really good risk reward with a stop below that and look for some sort of retracement. Not a huge one, doesn't have to be huge, but some sort of move off of that strength. Again, the alternative is if we come down and really see lack of demand and we say, okay, that's likely a real breakout. I'm now looking to go short, right? But I have to see what's going to go on down there. That's going to be very telling. But all that is, I mean, the simplest way to put it is you don't want to sell right into a support, hoping it will break for your trade to be a win. I think that's just not high probability. Question, yes. How do you get the configuration for the colors in the volume section? Yeah. This is just an indicator that comes with TradingView, and I changed the colors to represent, and they're not 100% accurate. Like this is strength, but it's red. It really should be green if this was really going to represent what I wanted all the time. But what it's really showing is, I actually took it off for a while. I just went back to blue, all blue. But here, this is the indicator, which you can search in indicators, of course. See vol B. And all I did was change, I believe I left this the same. but I changed the colors to represent, buying into down moves. So down moves have green, up moves have red. That's all. So if you get, a down candle that has unusually high volume on it, you'll get a green volume bar, and vice versa for the selling. So that's the settings on there. This actually has a moving average. Yeah, I don't use that. Let me know if you're able to get that, or if you need to see it again. But again, disclaimer with all this stuff. If all the volume bars were the same color, if these two stupid things weren't here at the bottom, if my moving averages were just regular and not colored, right, I would still be doing exactly the same thing. Why do I even have this? I don't know. Because I like the colors. I don't know. Indicators make suggestions. Sometimes they're dumb, bad suggestions. But it's really a dumbed down way of trading, is trading off indicators. In my opinion. And I think in your guys' opinion too. That's why you're learning how to trade right. Yes. There's a lot of Wyckoff, VSA, technical analysis, combo people, I think, here, right? That's our thing. In all my years, I've not seen anything better still. The Wyckoff schematic. It doesn't mean I apply all the little details of everything labeled in there, but the basic phases, obviously, of accumulation, markup, reaccumulation, distribution, or all that. That goes on still, will always go on. And, 5 waves up, 3-wave retracements, and, just these things are just the template of the market. And then combining VSA with that to say, okay, there's strength going on in an area that the Wyckoff template says could be a swing low and a bounce. And plus it's a fib, and you start to layer the stuff together. Not that complicated. It's a simpler version, I think. Maybe I'm just dumb. I do VSA wrong. I do Wyckoff wrong. I just do the way that I like. That works for me. But it's cool if, people want to get more technical and, however they want to do it. And I see the discussions in the Discord about that. That's cool. But I think we're all like-minded in that way. Oh yeah, colors, schmullers. Any developments? I'm tired today. I don't know how long I'll go. I'm just forcing myself to do this new schedule. Not quite used to it yet. Well, bearish in the background. Seeing some retracements on some, no retracements on some, kind of flat. But again, the way things have been moving, the late day stuff is not a problem. Hopefully the market's not waiting for FOMC minutes in. That's 4 hours from now. The market better not be waiting for that. Hopefully we can get some moves before then. I'm not waiting that long. I already have one win today. I'll be out before that. But hopefully that's not the case. That could be it, possibility. This ranged here for 3 hours, moved up a little bit, ranged for an hour and a half. Can't get any important areas tested. Test support, do something. Kind of feels like the market might be waiting for that news later today. I wouldn't be surprised if we were kind of stuck sitting around on these charts price-wise until that happens. Hopefully not. Wouldn't be surprised. Crude oil inventories in 35 minutes. Maybe that'll help. Oil's coming back down, right? Here. Brent crude. Took off right in November, huh? Right in November. What happened in November? I don't know. Probably nothing. Yeah. But I'm just looking at this because we got crude oil inventories coming out and I'm bored. Let's see. Whatever. Buy some off a low rejection. Sell some off high weakness. Whatever. What's up with the cryptos? So I'm holding what I'm holding right now. Not a huge amount. I'm looking to hopefully be able to buy as far as my swing positions. If we see this area. Possibly. But if I'm going to be buying more on my swing trading for cryptos, I would want to see a lower price. Again, that was Bitcoin. Here's Ethereum, same thing. So that's my next buy spot. If we can get there and if we see strength and so on. Pretty well correlated. This guy actually touched the 50, didn't it? Litecoin. That one actually touched it. Did it? Yeah, more or less. Yeah, there's certainly buying. Buying on the way down. Almost touched it. But we do see accumulation. If you look in the 5 minute at these down moves, this is where the indicator kind of comes in handy with the green at a glance, and to see that the high volume points are at low prices that got to pop up. You see demand accumulation, long positions coming in from there. But I wouldn't mind another pop down on these guys and strength. Some volume popping up from a 1 hour, 4 hour point of view. 4 hour pop in volume right into this area and rejection. That's all I would need to see to add to my swing trade positions. And of course, this should be green and this thing green, and get a trend analyzer 3000 with some arrows on it and some alerts. Then I know it's a good trade. Right? Everything's green. No. That's where I am on that. I'm not trading cryptos, but I think a dip will be a good opportunity to buy. Dip in strength is a really logical and clean situation. Could happen there. And if it doesn't come down, it just continues. At least I have some on and let it ride. I don't chase. I'm not going to be buying as it moves up or anything like that. But we're in a nice uptrend again, finally. I like to be at the 200 EMA as much as I can get it. before I start buying, and that could really meet up with it. In uptrends, this 200 EMA on a 4-hour chart can get hit and act as a support on the deeper retracements, the fib retracement. So that again is pointing to that spot, if we can get it. So we had a bit of activity pick up. Where is it leading? Eurodollar is going nowhere. Yeah. Okay, there's the reaction. And that looks really tiny because of that large volume. If I zoom in, we get to see. It would have been nice to actually test support, but so far we're seeing high volume, and here's our result. If we start trending up, I could look for that long entry. We just got to clean up and start moving right. Again, the high activity finally came in, and maybe we're getting an upward result. Maybe we can start trending up here. This market's got to figure out which way it wants to go. No trend today yet, except for EJ and the pound stuff, which has a bit of a retracement of the downtrend. I did catch some of the EJ long. I'm out of that. Counter trend trade. Might be cleaning up a bit here now. Well, any questions, let me know. Right now, I don't see anything I want to get into. Still plenty of time. Crude oil inventory is half an hour. It's going to wake up the whole market. I don't know. Do we get oil from Afghanistan? Not anymore, I guess. See if there's an actual correlation. Again, I don't trade news. I don't look at the result. But if crude oil inventory is supply, right? So if the supply is up, the price should go down on the news, in theory. If supply is low, price should go up. When the price of oil is too high, right? Countries start asking other countries that produce oil, start making more. We need more supply, right? So same principle there that we do on the chart. We'll see if it actually correlates. Wouldn't it be that easy? Crude oil inventory, supply is up, and it just moves down off the news. If it were only that easy, but no. You have those that are betting on the news beforehand, could have gotten in short, take profit on that news. While everyone is selling, you buy from them. And everybody chasing that news release is a step behind. That kind of stuff is what really goes on, so you can't really trade that. Sitting here talking about crude oil inventories. I'll be back in a couple minutes. How about that doobie? Anyway, thanks for being here. Hopefully it's helpful. Any questions, let me know. That song was wild. That was me playing everything. Had some good drugs that day. I don't know what that was about. Yes. Yes. Surf Speaker. How are you? Pete, your trading method works well on commodity futures, gold, oil, copper, natural gas, except you have to look at shorter time frames, 2 minute, after looking at the hourly for entries. Thanks for help. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with looking at I go down to the 1 minute sometimes, just to see. It's all in context, like you said. You have your 1 hour, you have your overview, your bearings on everything, so you don't have tunnel vision on a small time frame. But yeah, especially like if I see, testing a key level or something's going on important in a price area, I can go down to the 1 minute and really look at the details of what might be going on there. And there have been times where that has swayed me to enter something or not based on that. Time frames are weird with people. People are weird with time frames. I'm not going to do my whole time frame speech rant. But it's all the same information. You're just organizing it differently. So if you see something on one time frame and the other time frame you don't, it's still there. Or maybe it wasn't there to begin with, because you don't have two different things. Okay. And I think the weirdness from the time frames comes from indicators. So you take an indicator and you go, well, I got to pick a time frame. All right, 15 minute. I'll use my stochastics and my this and that. And I got to pick a time frame, so I'll go with the 15 minute or I'll go with a 4 hour chart because I'm busy or something. But then, you get conflicting signals. You go through different time frames and you get all these different signals from indicators, and I think that's what made people weird about time frames, and that you got to pick one and you can't look at certain ones or something. It's all just price over time, right? You want to organize it minute by minute, second by second, tick by tick, day by day. All right. Hey Pete, can you go over entries? When is the optimal time on the VSA and price action spread? Thanks. Yes. To summarize it, when you have your background and your levels and your direction and maybe your price area that you're looking at to get into a trade and all that worked out first, as far as the way I enter is I'm looking at the 5 minute chart, again, in the context of the bigger picture now. Then I'm looking at the 5 minute chart. Like I just said, sometimes I'll go lower than that, but really looking at the 5 minute for the patterns and the confirmation. That's kind of home base once I do the overall analysis. And really looking for, simply put, without getting into long explanation, simply put, I'm looking for the imbalance. So if I'm going long, if something's coming down to an area that I want to possibly buy from and on a retracement of an uptrend, let's say, price is coming down, I'm looking to buy. If I can see demand coming in along with lack of supply in that price area, right? Again, in the context of that situation already to begin with, then that gives the probability of, in that example, moving up out of that area. If you see large demand, it would be what? As you come into an area, you see a sign of strength. And then you're testing for supply, which we can get into. But simply put, it's that imbalance. And I actually have like a shrunken down fractal version of the sort of the Wyckoff, right, come down and accumulate thing. And it even applies on a 5-minute chart, those type of patterns. For example, what do I want to use for this example? Going short on the pound, let's say. So I know I marked that up on the other one, didn't I? Yeah. So this is an area potentially to go short, right? There are other possible trades today, but that is the pullback, right? Overview area. If we get there, so look at the 5-minute activity when it gets there. Now, if you see the 1 hour point of view, and there's a lot of weakness from a 1 hour point of view, that's nice, but sometimes you don't have that time to wait, and it's setting up properly sooner. Going with the background, I don't worry about that too much. But if we saw weakness in here and lack of demand, right, simply put, and that could be, again, signs of weakness are that, the wider spread, high volume rejection stuff, candles closing off their low, right, like into this area. And then testing for demand is really at the lower prices. The way I'm looking at it is it wants, if it's going to mark down off of that and continue that trend, that the lower prices shouldn't be hitting rejection on high volume as compared to the high, right? You want that imbalance. Now you can kind of start off the move sometimes on some increased volume as you're pushing out of that area. But the results of those high volume candles are important, just the same as the result of this one needs to come down to show weakness. If there's any increase in volume on the way down, you do want to continue as a result. And that was, okay, there's aggressive selling following weakness in our area, right? So that kind of summarizes like what I'm looking for. But really, if you look at the Wyckoff schematic and shrink it down, think of it on a 5-minute, and then apply VSA stuff to it, like I just explained, it'll start to come together. You know what I'm saying? Does that help? If you haven't checked out the Wyckoff schematic, you could just Google that right now, Wyckoff schematic. And if you look at the top, distribution, I'm talking about a simplified 5-minute, simplified version of that, and seeing weakness, seeing lack of demand, seeing it come out of that distribution range, start marking down, right? So as far as a 5-minute entry, the pattern is even there. A simplified version. Make sense? Any other questions, let me know. It makes the webinar, the live stream webinar, makes the live stream more educational. While we wait, Eurodollar stuck in the middle of the range. Crude oil inventory is 16 minutes. Maybe the market's really on the edge of its seat for the crude oil inventories. It's probably the FOMC later that they're waiting for. This guy, can we test support? Can we do something? This is where we ended the day yesterday. We went nowhere. Just explaining why I don't see any immediate prediction or opportunities. Pound, this is the weakest uptrend I've ever seen. You got 3 hours of sideways. You move up on one candle, and then you go sideways again for 2 hours so far. So, nothing exciting there. And so on. Things are just not kicking right now. I had one trade today, one win, which was the EJ long earlier. There it was. But yeah, the market is not in a very active state right now. Can't force it. See what I mean? Okay, good. Very welcome. How important is the background? Yes, which is kind of the VSA term. Yes, it's the background, the storyline. Where are you in the story, or in the Wyckoff? What phase are you in? We're kind of combining the two because they combine very well. Background, phase. Yes, very important. When I'm taking scalps, I have the freedom to go counter trade. I can grab 7 pips, 12 pips, this, that. But on my regular trades that we're talking about, like, you know, shorting on an up move on these downtrends here, that sort of stuff, of course, very important. We're in markdown, right? We're in a downtrend, markdown, whatever you want to call it. And being able to just simply look for weakness on an up move in a nice predictable price area, what I talked about before with a minute ago with the entries, that's fine. You know, and it's good to know that because we could be in accumulation because there's high volume strength and we've accumulation type of behavior going on. Then I wouldn't want to do that, right? So the background really determines that. Yeah, that's the only way to do it right, isn't it? You asked the question, where is big money positioned from? What direction is that? And in this case, they're positioned short from higher prices, right? And are they getting out of those positions? Are we seeing large demand? Are they holding? Right? We're seeing, for the most part, holding short positions. Some bit of demand coming in. So we're saying, okay, we're not really in accumulation here. We may pull up for some distribution so we can get back in. And when I say these things, again, everybody should Google Wyckoff schematic. And you'll see what I mean about distribution and markdown and what that is and these patterns. And a simple Elliott wave, 5-wave pattern, ABC retracement. Google those things so you know what I'm talking about if you don't know what I'm talking about. Where did I position my stop loss on the EJ trade? Below the previous low. So my entry was here, and here was the previous low. So it was below that. I couldn't tell you now because it's not there anymore, because it didn't get hit, so it's not in my history. But, you know, a couple of pips below this low. So if you look at it, why I even got in this, I'll tell you. And some people have my scalp course or know my scalp method and would recognize this. It's for trending moves that you expect to continue and not give much of a retracement opportunity, and you're trending along pretty well. So in this case, we moved up here, right? We're looking at our highs and lows, our swing highs and lows. You're looking at the structure, higher low. Slightly higher high, but certainly higher high, higher low. It's there, right? And then coming down to test pretty thoroughly here, and then coming back above the 14 EMA. Now I had some chances here, but it was a bit slow, whatever. This was a bit late technically to enter at this point. Yeah, I should have really technically maybe been in on these, which is about a whatever 4 pip difference. Stop loss there. So it would have to not meet the previous low, but make a lower low. That also, structure is important that for this type of entry, that it's there. If I'm buying, that there is a higher high, higher low structure. It's barely there, but it is. It is. I didn't break the rule. There's a bit of strength. Okay. Lack of weakness before the entry is important. Or at least, you know, the lower the better on this volume off of that previous high before I'm buying into it. I don't want to buy into weakness. So a bunch of things were lining up. And then as far as the structure, right, allowing it to come back there, fine. But make a lower low, right, then I'd be getting out. It's not even close to what is supposed to be for that trade, you know. Shouldn't hang on beyond that point. And what's the pip count on that? 52 is that candle, and this is 4. So that's 12 pips, give or take, in spread. And again, 12 pip stop. That's because I call it a scalp entry. You know, I try to ride it out if it looks like whatever, but small stops on those, which is good because then if I'm up 10 pips, 12 pips, 15 pips, I don't have to worry about closing the trade and having some terrible risk reward ratio. You know. as far as the scalp entries. Small stops are good. So I try to get a cushion like that. Luckily, that protected me. Since then, again, technically, here's the 14 EMA test here. And then that weakness showed up. And we got a lower low. So, of course, now it's really not in a condition where I'd want to be buying in that type of style now. That structure is not there. I think the pound is the one that's maybe maintaining. Oh, yeah, that's so sloppy. The pound yen. Yeah, not even. As far as maintaining the higher high, higher low structure. Yeah, barely. But also this really high volume came in. I wanted to see the result of that, which is sideways. That's not very exciting. So it feels a little stuck right now, doesn't it? Definitely. But that's really what it is, to state the obvious with trading. Sometimes it's just nothing per hour. At least the way I trade. The way I can stay profitable. Nothing, nothing, nothing sometimes. Other times, I get 3 trades in a day, or like today, I opened up the charts a few hours before I showed up here, and it was a trade, so it's just what it is. It's like fishing. I don't know. You wait, you wait, you wait, and then now you have to act right now. After all that waiting, now. Yes, now. Don't miss it. But, you know, I think it's easy for people to get impatient and stuff because of all that. So, but I like this environment. Streaming. I'm focused, but I'm not impatient. I am tired, though. All right. We'll hang out a bit longer. I'll just keep updating anything that develops here. Things are just sleepy right now. Like me. We'll see. Hopefully something develops. 7 minutes, we have the crude oil inventories. Maybe that'll wake things up a bit. Do I still do the other paid streams? No. I think I stopped that, what was it? Earlier this year. No, it's been many months. I haven't done that. Maybe one day I'll go back to it. Who knows? Never say never. But yeah, I stopped doing it like, oh, you know, now I can have the freedom to sleep in if I want or whatever. And then I got really lazy. Yeah, I took off for July and August, but I tend to get lazy. I'll check the charts. There's nothing going on. I get bored. I start watching something. And I don't put in the time. Especially if my cryptos are giving me profit, then I'm just like, I don't have to do anything. And that's been slow. But I kind of gave myself the challenge, try to be disciplined this week, get back into it. So far, so good. And luckily, it's profitable already. Wednesday morning. Not a bad week so far. Of course, September, October, November, good months to trade. I started a little early just to kind of get back into it. but pretty good conditions. But anyway, yeah, we'll see what that, if I ever do that again. For now, I'm just doing this. It's free. But here's my website in case anyone's wondering. If I ever do that again, that would be where you would go. And I do have my courses there, which if anybody wants a course, I will give you a big discount, whatever you want. You name the price. I got my main course, which is like 14 hours, and then my scalp course, which is much simpler, and then the crypto course. So if you're interested in that, I'm not trying to get rich off courses. Just email me and I shall lower the price for you because I can do that. But man, I was looking around. What are these guys doing out here on YouTube, man? Everybody's got the courses and the paywalls and the everything. Got to sign up for the group and the thing and the annual subscription. And they keep pushing all this stuff. What's up, guys? Smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you do this. Is this an infomercial or a live trading session? I think it's both. Knowledge. All right. So crude oil inventories is in 2 minutes, and there's a bit of movement now. See what we get. Maybe your dollar can get out of its range, and so on. So forth. Oh, the music's been on this whole time. I hope I didn't play the copyrighted stuff. It's the same 3 songs over and over again. Crude oil inventory is 1 minute. Getting some action. Let's see what we get. crude oil inventories. All right. Yes. We're back. What's the number? I'm just looking out of curiosity. It's crude oil inventories. Refresh the page. Let's see. It's moving down, right? So inventory should be up. More supply. And yes, that is the case. So it's twice as many as forecast. Twice as much as forecast. 3 times as much as previous. So we have an increase in supply of crude oil. So what should the price be doing? Going down. So could be a trap because that's too obvious and it's been going down. So everybody selling might be selling to some buyers because that's how it works. I wouldn't sell them because of that. Wouldn't that just be the way, right? You have a huge increase in supposed supply of crude oil inventories. You break into new low ground. Everybody's selling right here. Oh, if we break out, I'm selling, right? And we could pop right back up. Buy from them. Got to stay a step ahead. All right, so let's see what's happening. Eurodollar's still stuck in the range. Nothing exciting. All right. Ah, okay. Keep going to the wrong broker. No. New low ground. Okay. And then there was change. So let's see what happens here. Very telling. Very telling. Do we do a fake breakout, reject on high volume, come back up, and see again that there's actually accumulation through here? Maybe that shows up as high volume on a 1-hour chart. This all looks low because of that one spike. Oh, look at that. We can look at the 1 minute, look at the detail, and there is that increased activity down there. This is the new low ground coming in 2 minutes before the news. And we had this huge increase over the previous bunch of candles here, right? So that's not just the news volume. This is the actual news release here. Then again, we're testing this low. We're seeing lots of volume, and it's not able to break. So we may be seeing the buying into the sell-off here. Maybe. Too soon to tell. But if we get a clear fake breakout and we can stay above this level, a 5-minute candle close at least above this level. Think of the fake break, the spring, the bottom of an area of accumulation. It's not huge. It's not like, from a 1 hour point of view, really big volume accumulation, but obviously between this and then again possibly here, if that happens, it could be suggesting an up move. Even if it's back to the top of here, or just a slight retracement of that uptrend, obviously it's a good trade. And on the other hand, if we accept these lower prices and don't do that pattern and don't see high volume staying active on low prices, then it's a real breakout. And I would be looking to go short according to my proper entry rules and not chasing a breakout. So not too complicated there. This is a deciding point. These guys, again, euro dollar, pound dollar, just so stuck in their range for so many hours. And this hasn't helped. But at least we have this. See how that develops. The yen pairs, still stuck. We already went over that. Slight retracement mode from the downtrend. I already had the buy, got out of it. And we're going sideways. And even the pound yen now for an hour, hour and a half. Not doing much. It's all about little old Australian US. Okay. I like the Australian dollar pairs, as some of you know. They tend to be very nice and clean. AU, AJ. Plenty of times I'm focused on the Australian dollar pairs and other things are just not doing much. Again, we have a moment here. We're doing that. Got important stuff here, but not much else going on. Thanks, Australia. Inventory's down. I saw a positive number on Forex Factory. Did I read it wrong? Oh, it's why is it green though? Yeah, there's a negative. Why is it green? Oh, thanks for the correction. See, I don't do fundies. I figured green means more and red means less. Yeah, as I say. I normally don't even check. But thanks for the correction. Yeah, it's a negative number, but it's in green. Green meaning demand trading is supply. Oh, okay. Okay, I guess that makes sense, yeah. So are you buying? Are you selling? So okay, so the Australian dollar is looking in real time as it develops, is starting to suggest a real breakout is occurring. The longer we can sit here below this level, accept these prices as normal, not get popped back up, and this candle closed on the low. We're not seeing a pop rejection. The longer it can stay below this level, the more likely a real breakout it is. The more quickly it gets back above it, the more likely we're actually going to move up, and it's a fake breakout. I was leaning towards maybe a real breakout. We'll see. The thing I don't like about taking a trade on that is that nothing else really is going on. I'd rather have a kind of a woken up market that's doing things that matter instead of ranging the same price area it was yesterday. And these guys, yeah, they were nice and gave a little retracement, maybe a buy opportunity if you caught it, but look like they're getting stuck and going to sleep now. Now I have to go back and look since I've been corrected on that. Yeah, there's not even a conclusion yet. It's just spiked around. You got to wonder where these buyers, these endless buyers come from. Looking at the Dow. These are some serious sell-offs. They bought the crap out of it. Is that Fed money? Is that they're still doing that, aren't they? Like every dip, every panicky sell-off has to just get bought up. No matter what. Like how, look at the confidence in these buyers though, right? There's a lot of selling going on, but then also there's a lot of buying. But typically if you're this high, why would you have that much buying? Up here? Can we get a retrace? Come on. Funny business. Yeah, aggressive demand. $854 Dow entry. You would have entered that time, yeah. Okay, looking more and more like a real breakout. This is really the only action right now. I wish it was kind of all moving, so it would make this depend. This kind of more chance that this is just going to die off and not do much. If things are just waiting for the FOMC meeting minutes to make any major move today, that's very possible. But just to talk about what I would do, what I'm looking for in a case like this. Again, I already explained the situation now. It's starting to confirm that it's a real breakout rather than strength, fake breakout, spring type of thing. The longer it stays down here, accepts lower prices without jumping back up. Certainly doing that. If volume starts getting back to normal, we're starting to do that. So we're not seeing overwhelming demand there, obviously. The activity dies out and we can accept the breakout. So going from there, what do I do? There's a 5-minute chart. So typically, one of the nicest things to get into a trade off of this point Is this the right thing? We want is break test continuation pattern that lines up with, and it's surprising how often it can happen, lines up with a 14 EMA test, which I like also, which is one of the main things I want to see for my scalp entry. So for example, the 14 EMA, right, goes through there. This is representing the 14 EMA. And you get a clear rejection of this level, more or less, right off of that, along with the usual, maybe 3 candle pattern like this, and rejection style action off of the 14. The combination of the two helps the probability. A lot of people probably know the break test continuation pattern. Again, that's even in Wyckoff when you go into markup or markdown, right? You leave distribution or accumulation. You break through the automatic rally, whatever it is, or support. Come back to test it and then go on your way. So that's like the ideal. And then, going off of that, maybe lowering standards a little bit or something not as perfectly clean as that could be, still, let's say it's just really aggressive breakout. It's kind of far away from this, and then you're just really just working off the 14 EMA test again, and you're not waiting maybe for that break test confluence also. That's fine. The main thing is that these prices get accepted and you're not bouncing off of high volume strength. We just want to see some regular stuff. The lower the better on that volume. I think it's just really the opposite of a sign of strength. And then the proper behavior here to test and pull away. So that's sort of a variation of it. Now it all goes out the window. If this is a fake break, we end up here. Or the worst thing that could happen, which really tells you do nothing, is you're going up and down, right, over that support. Like we go above it and close, and then a couple of candles later, we go below it and close, and then above it and close. That's bad stuff as far as any probability. But right now, for example, it could act as resistance already. So this is important right here, right? Does it make a fake break pattern, spring, come back up, reject off of some activity? Or does it now act as resistance and give that bearish pattern break test continuation? Let's find out. How exciting. And we have our answer. Starting to get it there. Okay, then. Okay, so we're getting some information. Again, pointing to this being a real breakout. But as I say, I've learned not to chase breakouts. I think it's absolutely horrible strategy. If anything, I would do the opposite. If I had to do it, a trader who takes breakouts, they don't know what they're doing. They do some simple thing. I would tell them do the opposite. Trade the fake breakout. Like every time you see a fake break, if you want to simplify it that much, then buy after that. Go the other way. But that's the way around it that I found. No matter how good this looks on the initial break, let's say there's just not much demand coming in and there's really nice solid candles closing down, whatever, good stuff happening, I'm still not taking the initial break. I've learned that it's still not high probability enough. But the longer you stay down here and then you create the wave pullback and it's all good, then from there on. It's also the idea that you need new price for the day, new low ground to get into any sort of profit. And it's just always harder to do than if you move up and you're just coming back to test a low and you bounce again. All right, that test to the low, you caught some profit, manage the trade. So there's that. But it's looking like a real breakout. We should be able to go now, right? Unless there's some buyers now going to push it up. We should be able to go. Maybe he wants to go to sleep, get sloppy, wait for the big news in a few hours. We just can't go anywhere today. Except for the pound and the EJ thing. And now from there, we're not able to continue. So yeah, the longer this goes on, the more it seems to be about the high impact news later, and the market waiting for that. Maybe I'll get a short on this, maybe not. Yep, there we go. There is on the 1 minute chart, shows you, you can see it here, but clearly on the 1 minute, the break test continuation pattern is actually right there. As I said, when it got there. Now we may come back to test it again. We did a little bit here, come back to test it again, very possible. And of course, seeing it not get above it. For the situation to stay clean. Well, not much going on, but hopefully this is helpful. Only take what it gives. Really what it gave was a couple of pairs had a bit of a retracement. Otherwise, stuck in a small range. Kind of sleepy. The mighty beast, the pound yen, just doing nothing for the last hour. At least I'm here to tell you that. Action's not good. You got into a trade and you got stuck and you're sitting there. I warned you. Market's got to wake up. So I'll hang out a little bit longer and see the conclusion of this thing. Whatever happens, at least understand it, whether there's opportunity or not. If we're starting to see a lot of activity here, without any big down move associated with all that volume, then there is buying, obviously, right? Let's understand volume for a moment. That's a lot of activity. Average size candle. If that was mostly selling, this should be a pretty big red candle, right? So there's demand that we're dealing with down here. Now it could go away by hanging out here and volume drops off, going a bit lower, volume drops off. Okay, the buyers are gone. But this might bring it up, depending on the reaction. The sell-off doesn't seem very aggressive. So with this activity, it might bring it for another test. See the 1 minute. Where was that volume? Actually, it was here. Okay. See, the 1 minute could be very helpful. This is the test of that level, and then the volume increased, closed lower, right? Aggressive selling for a moment there. And then here's the low prices. Oh, okay, really dropping off in volume. So the 1 minute really helps to see that that volume is actually here and lead to a lower close, and that aggressive sell-off when we were looking at this break test continuation, is it going to form? And there was a run of selling. Not volume down here, right? Rejecting. Very different. Two different things. So the 1 minute really helps, because here it kind of looks like, oh, it could be off the bottom, but now we know it's actually here. Highest volume. Just to get into a little detail, because it's an important little area. You can understand what goes on here. No matter what happens, you can understand, even if it's a mess. So now we see if we come back up here, if it holds, how this candle closes. What's up? What's up? Hey, Joe. How are you? I saw your video on the cycle phases. Like more than a year. A cycle phases video. Yeah. I don't know how old that one is. The old ones are cringy. How often do you do these live trading sessions? I just got back into it really for September, October, November. I started a little early. And just started doing it. Trying to adjust my schedule to US Open to start these streams. I don't know how long. I have really no plan. But for now, that's what I'm doing. US Open. I don't think it'll be every day, 5 days a week, but I'll figure out a schedule here. Especially once we get into September. GU broke lower on 5-minute time. Looks like it's lining up with higher time frame. They accumulated the nice spike. Yeah, we're still dealing with some demand down there too. It was a nice sell-off off the break test. You could see on the 1 minute. But it's not a runaway situation. And volumes on the higher side, and we're not able to continue down. So there's a bit of demand we're dealing with. Again, it doesn't mean that we're going to fail the breakout, especially while we're still below here. That could just be absorbed and gone, and off we go. But doesn't hurt to test this again. That's kind of what I was looking for, meeting up with the 14 EMA. That might come together. The other thing you were saying about the pound, right? Pound moved down. Yeah, I mean, I hate to be a party pooper the way this is just, to me, it's just nothing. I would do nothing with it because, again, this range for so long, and then we moved up. One candle got us there. Range for hours. And then we're back to this range again. It's just not good flowing action that, to me, is high probability, any sort of prediction here. When you're saying lining up with higher time frames, you're saying maybe moving down. But yeah, I mean, looking at short, I would look for weakness. Could happen a bit higher. But really, I get the sense everything's kind of stuck in the weeds, and maybe you caught along today, like I did on EJ, on some retracement. But besides that, not much going on, and well, now we have this. And I think, again, the market's really waiting for the damn late day FOMC crap, which sucks. Can't they do that at like 9 a.m.? Right? Just do it. We got to have lunch first. 2 p.m. Is it because the meeting takes place in the morning? Then release it the next day at 9 a.m. Wait a day. Right? Okay. Two in the afternoon, New York time. The rest of the world is closed. Their markets are closed. Yeah, I think the ideal short is, to poke up a bit higher on the pound dollar. Yeah. Get rejected on a fake break weakness, then it's likely going back to that low, maybe continuing. Yeah. What do you use for news advantage for? Yeah, forex factor. Yeah. I'm not a news fundy trader at all by any means. So yeah, I just look at it when I start. I don't need anything special just to know when these things are going to happen. When's the high impact or whatever. Might bounce. This is the news candle. When price is still in the range of the news release candle on the 5-minute, I think it's harder to really get a direction on where it's going to go. As soon as you can get, we're talking about this yesterday, yeah. Like, as soon as you can get above this high of the news candle or below the low of it, right, and accept those prices, accept the prices, it's much more likely that you found your direction. If you're still in the range of this candle, like you really have a lot of volume with no result, really, which means that there's just no resolution, no imbalance. Buying and selling just took place in that price area, and there wasn't enough imbalance to get it anywhere yet. But I think that's a pretty obvious one, right? If this, like for example, right now, it could move above the high of the news candle and really close there, not get squashed down, have the next candle open up there, staying there. Okay, you're likely moving up now. That's kind of obvious, right, about the news candle. And that could fit into your background where you were looking to buy or whatever. So I would say as soon as we break that and stay there, we're likely to have that move up as a result. And we'll check back on that. Joe, yeah. Let me get caught up. Yeah, news just for volatility. Yeah, I'm not a fundies person. I don't even look at the numbers usually. How long have you been trading? Technically 2003 is when I started, but then I got serious like 2006, 7. Crude oil looking clean for shorts if it can stay below. Yeah, about the news candle. If it breaks above the news candle, it gives you insight. Yeah. As I said, that's going to really help a probability. I mean, I feel like when you're still in that area of that news candle, you really haven't resolved. You really haven't come out of it in any direction yet. Where am I? Because you think of it as this is where everything's positioned from. We have a clear range that all these positions came in, right? Definitely not above that, definitely not below that, right? Since that news came out, all those positions that came into the market are exactly in this price area. So just kind of on a really basic level to resolve where are we going off of all that activity, what's the result, right? Really simply put, to be able to get out of there and accept that price area kind of gives you a winner and a loser, as far as those positions. If they're aggressively selling and that's what they're really looking to do following that, you'll probably get squashed down trying to move up and you won't be able to get out. You'll see like immediately some supply coming in at some higher prices because those prices are better than what they got already if they're looking to sell. And you might get more weakness and reject an attempt. But that definitely helps me when dealing with the news. Say it's finally resolved. Sometimes it's immediate. Sometimes you get stuck a little bit here. Who knows? Always different. And I guess also it kind of helps you not get stuck here. The market again, generally overall, maybe really waiting for this FOMC crap. Everything's correlated to some extent. And this could turn into nothing and just get stuck here. And that also keeps you out of a trade. You're waiting for that to resolve out of that area. You're not going to get in here now and just get stuck. That's the way I see it. That's just me. Guy is testing the 14 EMA and support to resistance. So even extra important how this resolves. Did I have any mentors coming up as a trader? No. It was really just when I first started, there was also online, there was nothing. There was no Forex Factory, no babypips.com, none of that stuff in 2003. Nothing. No live trading rooms, no YouTube. I was so ignorant. I was actually looking at the broker that would send signals out in the morning with arrows, Oh, okay. So I started from the bottom, really at the bottom. No, it was just a matter of, like I always say, just trying everything, taking all the information in over the years, having so much screen time and dedicated to it. And when I had a regular day job, doing it early in the morning, doing London session before I went to work, like that dedicated. And then I end up using what I use and got rid of the rest. So yeah, it was just a lot of trial and error, a lot of time. I guess we have the opposite now. When I started, there was no information out there online, 2003, and then now you have the opposite. You have too much information, right? If you go to YouTube looking for a trading strategy, oh God, down the rabbit hole. This 100% no loss method will guarantee you will be rich. You got to click on it. What is this? What is he talking about? Your analysis makes sense. I don't use EMAs or volume, but price action is impeccable once you know what you're looking for. Yeah, and it's weird with moving averages. Like, yeah, that rabbit hole. Yeah, but different people use different moving averages, and it's like, okay, but you know what it means to you and the behavior around it, you know. But something about these, the 14 and the 50, on every time frame, they're like magical. Some people use the 20 SMA, which is going to be really similar to the 14. Like, I'm sure it's right here also, you know, give or take. That's very popular. So again, it looks like it's doing its test and rejection, break test continuation stuff. Example where it could really happen a few times, but it does prove that that support acts as resistance. And things can overshoot. But this candle did close back down. Then we have this. This is really now pointing to even more so, right? More and more as we're getting the information that it's a real breakout. Again, it might just be slow because things are slow until the news later. It's just a sleepy open today. What am I on a 1 minute chart? It's going to the low now, isn't it? Yeah, it's really starting to say real breakout, huh? Could possibly put a position on here. Might happen. So that's really looking like it wants to go. Clean break test continuation. Test of the 14 EMA, right? That's what I said when this first broke out as far as what would be ideal. And it happened. Back to the low. And if that was a scalp entry, that would be it. That's very small pip count because we're on AU. And that's how it is on this pair. Like the pound yen, that would be 12 pips, 15 pips. On this thing, it's 6. I hope the market has enough juice in it for this to actually go now. But the chart has spoken, right? There's real breakout. Chart has spoken. Previous support acted as resistance. Once we actually tested the 14 EMA as well, we got slammed down. The combo of the two, as I pointed out when we first broke out, that would be ideal. It should go. Well, now it's got to break support. The next challenge. Again, what bothers me about this is that the rest of the market is a bit slow, and we're looking for a breakout trend here. Is the US dollar really strong, pushing things down? Not so much. A little bit. Not really. Dollar yen. Trending up. Okay. Dollar yen, let's go. Some strength in the dollar. Dollar CAD. Okay. Hello. Give me that dollar strength. I'm hearing construction sounds. Yeah, when people start trading now, it's the opposite of when I started. Information overload. I had no information. It should go, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing's guaranteed. I remember a friend of a friend saying, "Oh, somebody at my job or something, some situation where they were. I saw this person make like $3,000 in a day trading the thing, the forex. Yeah, like thousands of dollars, like in a few minutes. Really? What is that? Nothing online. 0, 0, 0. Isn't that weird? I specifically remember it was Yahoo search, not Google, because they were like still being used at the people did Yahoo searches back in 2003. I searched for trading room, live trading something. 0 results, nothing. Isn't that crazy? And now people it's just so much. Oh my gosh. The opposite. I mean, there were books probably, yeah. Go to a bookstore. Trading for Dummies, and yeah, right. Larry Williams, right. I'm sure there were books, right. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Ever dive into his material? I'm trying to remember. It's been so long since I did anything. I don't remember what his stuff is. Maybe not. Or maybe I did. It was just so long ago. Didn't he play for the Sonics? Sleepy out here. Just like me. I made it though, day 3. Let's see. Can we break support and actually do something, or are we going to get trapped here? Trading is, my main source of income. Yeah, I do also like, but I don't have a job. This year, after the crypto run, I just really took it easy. But I also do like music production as far as income, which is, like here and there. Projects that I want to do kind of thing. But yeah, that's it. That crypto run Bitcoin up to 60 or whatever it was. And I got spoiled in life with that. It was like, I was calling it ATM. It was ATM. Like, all right, I'm just going to do this. If we go back to 60, I'll take another break. Is there any other news before the big news? No. 2.5 hours from now. Jeez. Why do they do it so late? Hey, are you looking for an audio engineer, or is there opportunity you know about for sound music? Is that what you do? You do audio engineering? Okay, we got to talk. Do I teach, mentor, or for you just put up material when you're inclined to? Yeah, I used to do paid version of this. But at this point, no. But as far as like personal mentoring kind of thing, no. I have done it. I'm open to it. But I feel like, doing this stuff live, whatever, obviously a lot more people to, one person at a time. But yeah, Gennaro. Are you an audio engineer? But yeah, that's what I do, and I also play every instrument. So that was going to be like my career, and then, yeah, good luck with that. Supply demand. It's a large supply of engineers and a small demand. Oh, yeah, I've got nowhere in the chat. Okay. He's not answering. But yes, I've studied audio engineering extensively. And various instruments and various genres. It's like I have a couple of things that I'm good at, and I'm bad at everything else. Not even kidding. Trading and music. Good at driving. Haven't hit anybody. Oh, I see you there on the Discord. Okay, cool. Wait. Oh, the message went away. I gotta load it. The app. Engineering study. We get chance. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's my other skill in life. Yep. Nice. What genres do I like? As far as recording, I really like to do anything. I like the variety. And I like the challenge of doing genre specific stuff and doing it right and being like a chameleon. Whatever the artist wants, I try to do and do it authentically. It's more fun than just being, okay, I just do rock or I just do EDM. It's just me and my computer. Mix it up, A friend of mine is audio engineer making 1 to 1.5 million a year. Nice. That's rare. I sound bitter. That's good for him. That was my first career choice. That's nice. Good gig. He's making that much. He must be doing some hits. Doing some big acts, obviously. Adam, very welcome. Good to hear. Disco, yeah, I got the, okay, cool. Hope you're making more than that from trading. More than from recording, yes. Oh, the Discord. Yeah. Is it in the link already right now in the description on the live stream? The Discord link should be there. Is that even possible to go to right now? It should be, right? Yeah, there it is. Link in the description right now to the Discord group. Yeah. Try it out. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Can we move? Can something move? It wants to be a real breakout. Ooh. Oh. Euro, what are you doing? A little drop down on the euro. Just the euro. Not exactly life-changing. All right, where is this going? Oh, new low ground. Yes. Wow, how weak. No retracement and weakness. Couldn't get it. If this even is a real breakout. That kind of came out of nowhere, just on the euro. Interesting. Euro versus the pound. Yeah, sudden little thing here on euro. We'll see what it turns into anything. There you go. Join the Discord. Cool. Like I say about the Discord, I don't really do much with it, but it was started for me, for everyone. And we have like-minded VSA, Wyckoff, knowing, understanding what the heck's going on, not using indicators kind of people here. So it's good. Share material and learn. Common style doesn't mean everybody has to trade the same. Or nobody's making trade calls or any BS. It's good. Share material. Well, I went longer than I thought today. I'm tired. 3 hours. Didn't know I would do that. This guy's stuck between wanting to keep the breakout. Good job. But not able to continue yet. Again, we get these spikes in volume, but we're just going nowhere in the end. Where have we gone today? At least the euro dollar is in this new low ground stuff. And lots of volume coming in. Must be something up with the euro. Wait, I want to be using the green one. Yes. Well, we don't need the fib. Whatever, we'll use this. So if this turns into a counter trend situation, meaning if I'm going along, it's very possible. We do have that news coming up today, which is a pain in the ass, but a fake break here. The 5-minute is starting off very much showing strength and buying coming in. Fake break. If that's it, as far as this rejection, and we're back again above here, really suggests we're going to continue up. We'll see the result of this if it can really get down there again, or there. That's it. That's a lot of volume, obviously. That's the way things tend to turn direction. But we'll see the result, make sure it stays above there. We just looked at our breakout, so we kind of know what we're dealing with, how to deal with it. But as far as buying, that's really nice. But going counter trend, I would like to see, and this goes back to basic VSA stuff, higher time frame really showing some strength if I'm going against this down move and not calling it like a counter trend trade, really saying this is accumulation. And enough demand coming in where I'd want to be buying. There's no rush to do that. And that obviously even would take an hour, or at least 29 minutes left on this candle. See what's going on there. I mean, you could look at the 30-minute when that closes and just make sure like really there's enough activity to say, okay, this is a reversal situation. For real. 1 5-minute spike doesn't change the whole background, right? All right, I'll end it in a few minutes. Did 3 hours. Longer than I planned. What else? So yeah, we have to deal with that late day news today. I'm going to check tomorrow out of curiosity. Thursday. Unemployment claims U.S. listed as medium impact. That's it. Everything else is light. Friday, nothing big. Retail sales pound. Okay, nothing crazy big the rest of the week. Biggest thing coming up is late today. Australia has unemployment rate also at their open. All right, good. Especially once we get past that news later today. Market won't be like waiting for some big thing. All right. All right, I think I will call it. Come on, go. Oh, there it goes. Trying. It's supposed to break out. It's supposed to go. So says the chart. All right. I'll try to make it tomorrow. I don't know. Not a guarantee. At U.S. Open. So it may not be 5 days a week, but I'll try to be here fairly regularly. See how it goes. So hopefully maybe see you tomorrow. Okay, guys. Been fun. Thanks for being here. See you soon.